Hey, how is everybody? I'm hoping you had a good week. We are moving right along. This week we're going to be in the Code of Criminal Procedure, or the CCP as it's called, in law enforcement. So if you have your books, it should look something similar to this that you got at the bookstore. But if not, maybe they were out of the books, or whatever. Your funding isn't quite where it should be to purchase your book. Don't despair. I made PDF copies of it, and I'm going to put it in the module so you can look it up. This week we're talking about who peace officers are. There are specific guidelines that have to be met, obviously, to become a peace officer. But this particular chapter, we'll be looking at 2.12 and 2.13. It talks about who peace officers are, what their duties are, and things like that. You might be surprised at some of the people that are mentioned. Sometimes they have certain hospital districts who have peace officers, and those types of things. That's primarily out in West Texas, or in some of the larger cities like Houston, Dallas, and things like that. Just thinking of some things off the top of my head. But I'd like for you to read that chapter this week, kind of go over who peace officers are, what some of their duties are, and things like that. And then we're going to get into chapter 14, and chapter 14 kind of, delves a little bit more into that, with as far as duties and powers and things like that. So that's what we're going to be doing this week. I just want you to look over that stuff. As far as a discussion board, I really don't see any need for us to put anything up on the discussion. I do want you, as you read this week, though, I do want you to look at the stuff that's in there as far as who peace officers are and some of their duties and powers and things like that. And be ready to answer any questions that you may have. I'm sitting here thinking about it. I am going to put up a discussion. That way, if you have some ideas that you want to bounce off one another, or maybe you have some questions for me, or sometimes when I found that through my academic career, a lot of times I'll have a question or something like that, and sometimes the instructor just isn't able to explain it to me, and I can ask another student, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, now I get it. So I'll go ahead and open the discussion board up for that, because I think that'll be beneficial to you. Let's see. Next week we have professionalism and ethics. So please be sure and make contact with the testing center here on the Kilgore campus or on the Longview campus, if that seems to be more convenient for you. And because we'll have our first exam coming up here in a couple of weeks. So, and the exam is going to be on the stuff that we've covered so far. It'll be your criminal justice, Bill of Rights, arrest, search, and seizure, Code of Criminal Procedure, and then what we cover next week regarding professionalism and ethics. So, keep in mind, this particular course is a survey course. It's an overall view of what the criminal justice system is about with regard to what you will do as a peace officer. So that's kind of why we're covering this this week. That's really all I have. You will have your postings, you'll have your PDFs and what have you that you can click on and open up for this week's readings, and then I'll have the discussion board for you. Hey, I hope everybody has a great week, and so far from the discussions and things that I've been looking at, I kind of like what I'm seeing. I appreciate everybody, engaging and, taking it seriously. So have a great week.